And to other stories, fuel scarcity now appears to have come to stay in some parts of the country. And here in Lagos, the queues are getting longer by the minutes as residents spend longer hours waiting for the once available commodity. We have details in this report.
The crowd, the confusion and frustration it brings, and now normal sight at petrol stations within the city of Lagos. This is in contrast to the situation at some other stations. Though the product is not being sold here, black marketers have taken over the business. On seeing the camera, we could not speak with them, but we learned the price is more than 70% higher than the regulated price of 165 naira per litre. 3 days into the scarcity in Lagos, economic activities are already reflecting the harsh reality, as many commuters are stuck with no transportation in sight.
When I was coming to my house, I live in Ayege. This one I spent 400 naira instead of 200 naira. The issuer money from Ayege to Ikeja, 200. From Ikeja to Ojota, it's 200. How long are we going to continue with this? So government has to do something very fast.
This country, we are tired about this country. I go so many fuel stations of them in the same queue I'm facing. So I've been the one on Ikeja, the same thing. So what we are seeing now is like no fuel, or let them open up, tell us there's no fuel, then we'll know there's no fuel, we'll go and park our car.
For years now, scarcity of petroleum products have become a mainstay in the life of the nation. There is widespread belief that the frequent scarcity is a ploy to further increase the price of the product.
One thing that we do badly in this country is we do not know how to disseminate information to people. You know, at least once you communicate to the people out there, they will prepare their mind and they will have maybe alternatives. But here we are, everybody woke up on Friday and the next thing we saw, queues all over the place.
I've already used almost 1.5 hours here now without seeing anything to buy. I want to buy fuel for my car. There is no drop of fuel in my car now.
The sad reality now is no one knows when this crisis will abate or when life as we know it will come back. The frustration is palpable and many believe hope is lost for the country. Theophilus Ilama, TVC News, Lagos.
And TVC News correspondent Sharon Ijason joins me now to give more update. Sharon, tell us where you are and the state of things. I'm guessing you're at a filling station. Tell us the state of things at that petrol station.
Well, I'm driving around Lagos today. The situation is still the same. Right now, as I speak, we have some gas stations actually dispensing petroleum products to commercial drivers and private motorists. But the question is, we still have quite a number of gas stations that have not started dispensing fuel to the people because, according to them, they do not have products to sell. And that brings to many of the questions on the lips of the average Nigerian, which is, why do we have to suffer another round of fuel scarcity right now in Lagos, Nigeria, and other parts of the country, as it may seem? For many of the marketers that have spoken today, they attribute this development to the war between Russia and Ukraine. For them, it's about demand and supply. According to them, the demand and the supply is more than the demand is more than the supply that they are getting, and they are buying or importing this product at a very expensive price. Which means, and if they're buying it at a very expensive price, the normal price for you to buy PMS here in Nigeria is pegged at 165. And according to them, the landing cost is about 185. And that is why the average Nigerian is actually suffering from this fuel scarcity.
Sharon, do we know if there is now some sort of stopgaps being put in place by either the federal government or the marketers to ensure that there is adequate supply? And what are they saying about the pump price? Because we're understanding that there might be an increase in pump price.
Well, the price still remains 165. But of course, there are a lot of expectations from the government. For the marketers, there's nothing much that they can do, because if they even have the product and the landing cost is 185 and they have to sell at 165, the onus is on them to either choose to sell or not to sell, because it's business. But for many of the resident motorists that are affected with this, for many of them, what they expect is the federal government, maybe through NNPC and either of any of its other subsidiaries, to come into the scenario and take action and see if there's anything they can do to reduce the suffering of the average Nigerian. For many people, they don't even have electricity supply in their homes, so it's double jeopardy for some people who do not have enough money or who don't have access to products, and they can't just enjoy themselves as an average Nigerian.
And let's not also forget the small businesses that depend on generator to drive their business. But Sharon, tell us, the filling stations you have been to today.
The black market is there. The black market
I was going
to
to ask you, Sharon, about some of the filling stations you have been to. What is the pump price at those filling stations?
Well, most of them still stick to the 165, but for many of the small business owners that might need to access this product urgently, what they need to do probably is to access the products through the black market, which definitely will come at an extra cost. So the price varies depending on the filling station, depending on the area where you have, be it mainland or the island, or maybe if you're outside Lagos.
And imagine if you buy from the black market at about almost 200, 250 per litre, and then you have to use that to run your business. Probably run at a loss. Thank you so much, Sharon, for the update. Our correspondent Sharon Ijason live for us here in Lagos.